Friends, the topic of today's podcast is the relevance of past performance. In mutual fund investing, how do you make a choice of an investment product? Many of us do our mutual fund investing on our own, and when you see how these choices are made, you will find that the simplest go-to places are the 2 or 3 websites which rate and rank mutual funds. These rankings are mostly relying heavily on the past performance of these funds and the empirical consistency of the past performance. But if I were to evaluate 5 portfolios of 5 different friends, and I don't have any of this data before me, there is still a way of coming up with a more informed judgment than we would if we purely relied on past performance. In my opinion, a mutual fund should also be primarily evaluated on the merit of its current portfolio and not heavily on the merit of past performance as we are prone to doing. Then why do people get so obsessed about past performance? I think that it is more to do with the lack of the ability to judge a portfolio. And that is where we find past performance sits very comfortably as a very easy tool. So what do? We say that this fund has performed the best among funds in the past 1 year, or the past 3 years, or the past 5 years, and therefore it makes sense for us to join that bandwagon of that fund. Now think about the times when the broad investment theme changes, the overall market preference changes, market leadership changes. At those times, often the funds that are riding high on past performance do not capture that trend. There are very simple reasons. Some of these funds may be thematic, or they may be category funds like a mid cap or a small cap or a micro cap fund. Or they would be funds which have a very heavy weightage in a particular sector. A very recent example is the heavy weightage of financials, which in my opinion is almost a historic high in the indices. Now, when you come to such times and there is a change in the broad market trend, which is very highly likely, then relying on past performance as an investment tool can be a very weak approach to future investing. Investors like us do not judge our investment portfolio's potential. Our proprietary books, which we have under various names, we don't judge these portfolios on the basis of the past performance. We clearly rely on the strength of the portfolio, its intrinsic quality, the kind of bets that we have taken, the potential of each bet individually and collectively, and then we come to an informed assessment whether our individual portfolios are in the right fit for the future. And if they are not, what would we do? We would make specific changes in some stocks which we believe can be replaced with better ones. It is this kind of an analytical approach which I think will work better in evaluating even a fund portfolio. After all, a portfolio is a portfolio, whether it is an individual's portfolio or a mutual fund's portfolio, the way to evaluate it is the same. The fact that we don't know that method of evaluation should not make us into reductionist investors who simply look at the immediate past and extrapolate whatever we have seen in the immediate past into the near future or the distant future. These two may be very, very different from each other. And we are at a time when I believe that the divergence between past performance and future performance will start showing up over the next 1 year and later. And therefore, it is a time to evaluate what the future market leadership can be, and over the next 6 to 9 months, increase our exposure to those thematic funds or specific products which are oriented towards best future investment performance, and that need not necessarily be aligned to past performance. So the relevance of past performance now and going into the future should be taken with a lot of caution and with enough circumspection so that we don't end up making ordinary choices when there are much better choices available before us. Thank you very much and happy investing.